Because there are reports that Prince Harry, Meghan Markle and their children could be set to lose their royal titles if and when Prince William becomes monarch. There are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired hours after he lost his appeal for taxpayer-funded UK.
Your titles are gone. You're going to be Meghan Mountbatten Windsor. Your husband's going to be Harry Mountbatten Windsor. And all your
time is running out for Prince Harry, and he can feel it. While King Charles bravely faces his illness head-on, Prince William has been moving in silence, setting up a plan that could completely erase Harry's royal status. The titles, the legacy, the prestige, gone in one royal stroke. Right now, Harry's high above the Atlantic. But this flight isn't about family love or goodwill. It's a last-minute move in what looks like a battle for his royal survival. Insiders close to Buckingham Palace say Harry jumped onto a private jet the moment he realized how serious things had become. The palace, they claim, is no longer just considering taking action. They're preparing to strip Harry and Meghan of their titles for good. This isn't some empty threat or tabloid exaggeration anymore. It's real, and it's moving fast. Behind the royal gates, things have shifted at lightning speed. Normally, decisions like this drag on for months, endless discussions, committees, and royal advisors whispering in circles. But lately, it's been chaos in overdrive. Palace insiders describe the pace as alarming, unlike anything seen since the days right after the Queen's passing. The sense of urgency has everyone tense, from senior officials to longtime staff who've served the crown for decades. One palace insider even admitted the change was overnight. The second the king's health took a turn, everything became colder, more calculated. Suddenly, it wasn't about family bonds anymore. It was about preserving the crown.
Your threats of legal action, I think, is something that William will quite rightly stare down. But let me take you through.
Meghan is just still that desperate starlet trying to cling on to any bit of fame and fortune that she can get her hands on. Despite climbing up the pole, the highest that anybody could ever go, she slid straight back down to where she was before she even met.
Turning out of the growing fallout from Harry and Meghan's royal exit.
So that they would no longer have a title whatsoever.
The hierarchy and the monarchy's image at all costs. In William's eyes, survival means cutting out anything that threatens the monarchy's reputation, no matter how personal it gets. King Charles's cancer diagnosis didn't just shift the tone of royal appearances, it shook the entire foundation of the crown. What the public sees as a health crisis is, behind palace walls, a silent power shift in motion. Insiders are already calling it the quiet succession. William, once the calm and collected heir, is now effectively running the monarchy while his father focuses on recovery. While King Charles fights his battle with dignity, William has stepped fully into the role of commander, running strategy briefings, managing diplomatic calls, and controlling every aspect of the family's image. His leadership? Ice cold and razor sharp. Those closest to him say he's changed completely. The warm, joking William of years past has disappeared. In his place stands a leader who's strict, fiercely protective of the institution, and utterly intolerant of anything that smells like scandal. To William, Harry and Meghan have become walking storms. Unpredictable, dramatic, and expensive for the royal image. Charles has always led with his heart, but William? He leads with precision. Under his rule, there's no room for emotional reunions or long-shot forgiveness. Not for Harry, not anymore. For him, the monarchy isn't just a family, it's a global brand. And every brand demands tight control over its reputation. He doesn't see Harry and Meghan as misunderstood ex-royals.
However, and their children would lose what Meghan Markle once referred to as their birthright.
William is willing to cut a limb in order to save the body. He's willing to even sacrifice the titles of his children in order to clean the Windsor house, because enough is enough. And Harry and Meghan know it.
I think there's much of a relationship between William and Andrew, but I think Harry and Meghan should be shaking in their boots right now if they are not already. And they could have had the best of all worlds if they had played their cards right. But this was...
Well, I really do feel...
He sees them as liabilities. Ones that have repeatedly chipped away at the crown's credibility. Every shocking interview, every streaming deal, every tell-all project has drained the palace's patience. Insiders say William's done playing nice, he's in cleanup mode. William's cleaning house, one royal aide whispered in a hallway, thinking no one was listening. That one quiet line said more than any public statement ever could. For years, King Charles's compassion kept Harry in the picture. He truly believed that time could heal the wounds. But William doesn't believe in waiting. He believes in results. And now that he's effectively steering the royal ship, feelings are no longer part of the equation. The crown, whether symbolic or soon to be real, gives him the authority to do what needs to be done. And he won't hesitate. Anyone who drags down the monarchy's image will be cut loose, no exceptions. And at the very top of that list, Harry. Before boarding that private jet, Harry reportedly made one last attempt, a direct plea for a private conversation with his father and brother. He didn't ask for an official meeting or grand royal formality, just a moment to talk like family. Man to man, son to father, brother to brother. But the palace never responded. Not a message, not even a polite acknowledgement. That silence wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. In the royal world, silence is the message.
It will happen, and I think it's important to note that it won't be a revenge play by William.
You're in America now, and we don't give a shit about you. You're not our fucking prince. You'll never be king. We hate your wife. Stay at home in your $29 million mansion.
I just can't stand her. I just think she's such a phony.
Harry's digging an even bigger hole for himself here.
Well, I think he's dug so deep now, he'll strike water any day now.
William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH.
It's the most powerful form of communication they have. Silence means exclusion. Silence means decisions are already being made without you. Silence means your place has been quietly erased from the circle of influence. For Harry, that silence hit harder than any headline or public statement ever could. Behind the scenes, William's team has been shaping this move for months, wrapping it in the language of modernization. But everyone on the inside knows what that really means, cutting off anyone who weakens the brand. And right now, no one is seen as a bigger threat to that brand than Harry and Meghan. The plan is now moving fast, and Harry's sudden flight to London doesn't look like a warm homecoming anymore. It feels like a desperate, last-minute attempt to stop what's already in motion. Insiders whisper that while Harry's chasing peace, William's chasing results. William isn't looking for tearful apologies or emotional heart-to-hearts. He wants structure. He wants order. He wants control back. And above all, he wants the monarchy to survive without another storm of drama dragging it down. There's no time for family therapy sessions or royal reconciliations. William's cutting distractions one by one. Every move sharp, every silence intentional, every gesture about control. His mission couldn't be clearer. Restore the monarchy's dignity and prove that the crown still commands respect. He's drawing a firm line between the royal institution and those who've turned their royal past into tabloid chaos. Even palace aides, who once felt sympathy for Harry, are now said to have gone cold.
Is the story right here, reported by The Express. Prince Harry loses family title as other royal steps in to replace him.
Fascinating reporting from Radar Online, and it's their British-based reporter Aaron Tinney, a tabloid veteran, who writes, Meghan Markle already preparing to go legal over fears Prince William will inevitably come for her Duchess title. And he writes, Meghan Markle is panicked and
One insider reportedly told the Mirror he made his choice. Now he's facing the consequences. That one simple line says it all. So when Harry's jet lands in London, he's not returning to warmth or forgiveness. He's stepping into a fortress where his place has already been decided. Sure, the palace gates might open, but the welcome won't be with open arms. He's no longer the cherished son or the beloved brother. To the monarchy, he's become something unpredictable, and unpredictable is dangerous. But the story doesn't stop there. It gets even darker when you remember the quiet warnings left behind by Queen Elizabeth herself. She didn't just leave a legacy, she left a roadmap for protecting the crown. And one of those messages, insiders claim, was directed squarely at Meghan Markle. The late Queen reportedly warned Meghan never to use her royal title for personal profit. But that's exactly what Meghan's critics accuse her of doing, from her podcast to the Netflix productions, from books to branding ventures. Every project leaned heavily on the power of her Duchess title. Instead of distancing herself from royal ties, Meghan seemed to turn them into a stepping stone, a ladder to Hollywood power. And now, her rumored cosmetics line has sparked new concern inside Buckingham Palace. The sleek Instagram teasers, the cinematic videos, the picture-perfect glamour, all of it feels like a direct link between royal identity and commercial gain. William's advisors reportedly see it not just as business, but as rebellion, a Hollywood empire built on the royal name, something that crosses a line no one in the royal circle can ignore.
I can't even. These two, Meghan and Harry, are the worst.
Also this weekend, because there were some business cards in the back of one of her podcasts, she's still using her royal title, HRH, despite our late Queen warning.
To William, this isn't ambition, it's defiance. And defiance has consequences. The Queen's warning wasn't a casual piece of advice. It was a command meant to safeguard the monarchy long after her passing. She had seen what happens when royalty mixes with profit. The public can handle tradition, duty, and ceremony, but not the idea of royalty turning into a brand. Meghan's decision to keep using her title while pursuing commercial success has reignited that exact fear. She didn't just break the unspoken rule quietly, she did it boldly, in full view of the world. And now, the same royal titles that once gave her global recognition might become the very thing taken away. Then came the YouGov poll, a bombshell that spread through Buckingham Palace faster than any rumor. The results weren't just surprising, they were shocking. Nearly half of Britain, about 47%, now believe Meghan Markle represents a greater threat to the monarchy's stability than any critic or political figure. For William and his team, that number isn't just data, it's justification. Justification for action, for control, for making a move that's been quietly planned for months. Then came the poll that changed everything. The one that compared Meghan Markle to Prince Andrew, a man still shadowed by one of the darkest scandals in royal history. And yet the results were stunning. According to the public, Meghan was seen as more damaging to the monarchy's reputation than Andrew himself. That symbolism hit deep. Not just for the family, but especially for William. This moment became the turning point. It wasn't about hatred or rivalry anymore. It was about proof. Cold, undeniable proof that the public wasn't just frustrated, they were exhausted. Tired of the drama, the interviews, and the constant whirlwind of headlines surrounding two royals who don't even live in the UK anymore.
Financial thing. Working royals do not profit. They do not use their names to make money. It's an honor to have an HRH.
Absolutely.
So the fact that she's continued to use this HRH when they...
One palace aide described William's reaction as silent but sharp, like a judge reading a verdict. No shouting, no slamming doors, just a quiet realization. The monarchy can't survive like this forever. William had already warned his father that the patience of the people was wearing thin. Now, with the numbers staring him in the face, there was no denying it. Meanwhile, Meghan's camp tried to dismiss the poll as media bias, brushing it off as another tabloid trick. But inside Buckingham Palace, no one was buying that. As one senior insider quietly said, bias doesn't move a nation's opinion. Within those palace walls, the poll wasn't seen as noise. It was seen as a signal, a green light, a sign that the public might actually back royal modernization, even if it meant removing titles. And so, whispers became plans. Plans became meetings. Senior advisors started studying every legal angle, even revisiting dusty archives from the 1930s. They analyzed previous cases where titles were removed and debated which approach would be most effective in today's world. The energy shifted from caution to preparation. That's when the two-step plan started to take shape, and it was nothing short of genius in its quiet precision. Step 1. Finalize Prince Andrew's complete removal from all remaining royal privileges, publicly, decisively, and symbolically. Step 2. Use that same legal precedent to discreetly strip Harry and Meghan's titles, this time quietly and without fanfare. No dramatic confrontations, no public spectacle, just procedure. It's a masterstroke of strategy. Even those who feel sympathy for Harry admit that the plan is brilliant because it doesn't look like revenge. It looks like modernization, a clean, logical update to an outdated structure. On paper, it's simply an administrative move. But behind palace doors, it's a quiet purge. The transformation of the monarchy into a leaner, sharper institution with zero tolerance for distraction.
She was in the trenches. She alludes to being in the trenches when she was in the British royal family. Girl, you lived in a castle. Like, you got a princess.
Breaking news out of London, Buckingham Palace announcing Harry and Meghan will no longer formally represent the Queen. That means they will no longer receive public funds and they will stop using their royal...
William's vision of the future is sleek and precise. The monarchy he's building is polished, controlled, and corporate in its efficiency. Gone are the sprawling royal entourages and endless controversies. It's a monarchy built like a brand, and in that brand's file cabinet, Harry and Meghan are listed under liabilities. The brilliance of William's plan lies in its calm execution. Once Parliament sets the precedent through Andrew's case, the monarchy can move forward under the guise of formality. No drama, no emotion, just protocol. But behind that cold efficiency, everyone inside the palace knows the truth. This isn't just policy, it's William's final chess move. And the board? It's already set. Harry doesn't even realize how many moves have already been played. While he's been overseas trying to rebuild his public image, William has been tightening his grip on the crown's machinery. With King Charles's health quietly declining, William's influence has grown stronger by the day. His word carries more weight. His decisions shape the palace. His vision defines the royal brand. And that realization sends chills through Harry, because he knows exactly what kind of leader William is becoming. Not sentimental, not forgiving, not slow. William's leadership is like a machine, efficient, relentless, and impossible to stop. He doesn't rule like Charles did. There are no emotional phone calls, no last-minute reconciliations. William's rise hasn't been loud or chaotic. It's been steady, calculated, strategic. Every empty space left by his father's illness, he's filled. Effortlessly, naturally, as though it was always meant for him.
Will not use the HRH title. That is a long-standing precedent, and there's good reason for it. Basically, the HRH is only given to working royals and senior.
Understands the stakes, and she's ready to fight in court if it comes to that. Maybe if you understood the stakes, you shouldn't have spent all of your time calling the British royal family racist. Anyway, a friend of the couple said watching Andrew lose everything and become Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was a wake-up call. Meghan has taken it as a clear warning that no title is guaranteed. If anyone tries to take hers, she's not going to stay silent.
Diplomats meet him first. Advisors report to him before they brief the king. Staff follow his rhythm now, not Charles's. And that's what truly terrifies Harry. Because this new version of William doesn't just want control, he already has it. King Charles forgives. He hesitates. He avoids confrontation. But William doesn't wait. He acts. He removes obstacles. He organizes. He executes. There's no queen left to soften his choices, no motherly voice to remind him about compassion, no father strong enough to shield Harry anymore. The gentle hands that once held the family together are gone, and what's left is a new kind of monarchy. Colder, sharper, and far less forgiving. And in this new royal order, Harry stands firmly on the outside looking in. Across the Atlantic, Meghan continues to shape her own narrative, carefully crafting her next move under the bright California sun. Her latest project, the much-hyped podcast Confessions of a Female Founder, was meant to be a big comeback. But the numbers told a different story. Barely anyone tuned in, the reviews were lukewarm, and Spotify quietly shifted its attention elsewhere. Yet, Meghan proudly flaunted 2 sleek Signal Awards, posing with them like she'd reinvented the podcast world. That's what Palace insiders now call the Meghan effect. The uncanny ability to turn something small into something massive through pure presentation. She doesn't need real success as long as she can look successful. For a while, that illusion worked brilliantly. Her curated photos, picture-perfect captions, and glamorous interviews gave the impression of power and influence.
Progressive new role within the royal family. While the royal family does modernize, I mean, the Queen sends tweets.
Monarchy means for the monarchy.
Well, people are talking about it being a constitutional crisis, and I'm not sure it is a constitutional crisis. I mean, through circumstance and the Cambridges having 3 children, Harry slipped down from...
But behind those glowing posts, cracks have begun to show. Former collaborators whispered that the podcast was more about image than insight. All polish, no depth. Even people once close to her quietly admit that her obsession with perfection has pushed others away. From staff to longtime allies. Hours spent perfecting the lighting of a photo, but only minutes spent preparing the content that actually mattered. And that's where William's team has been quietly gathering ammunition. They've kept records of every misstep, every overhyped project, every exaggerated headline, every public contradiction. No emotion, no gossip, just evidence. To them, Meghan isn't misunderstood. She's strategic, and in their eyes, dangerously so. Her version of rebellion doesn't inspire the palace, it insults it. For a monarchy built on understatement and composure, Meghan's high-gloss Hollywood approach feels like a deliberate challenge. She's the royal rule breaker who built her empire on perception. But perception fades, and when it does, the fall can be brutal. Harry knows that better than anyone. There was a time when he seemed unstoppable, the soldier prince, the world's favorite rebel, the royal with heart and courage. But now, as that image fades and the cracks in his story grow deeper, Harry's starting to realize something chilling. In William's world, nostalgia doesn't count, and sympathy doesn't save you. Now, people close to Harry describe him as a man carrying the heavy weight of choices he never truly understood. The same choices that once looked like freedom are now starting to look like chains. What he thought would be turned into pressure. What he called a fresh start became a struggle to stay relevant. California was supposed to be his quiet escape.
Hypocrisy is beyond anything I've ever seen.
He's duplicitous, self-centered, vile, disloyal.
But it's turned into a stage where his every move is watched, judged, and dissected. The dream of a new beginning has slowly morphed into something much darker. Insiders say Harry's restless, pacing through his days, unsure what's next. He's anxious, confused, and often lost in reflection about the life he gave up. Without the palace, without the royal structure that defined his purpose, Harry seems to be searching for who he is. Not as a prince, but as a person. He once said he wanted freedom, but what he's found feels more like isolation. He's tried reaching out, quietly, cautiously, testing the waters to see if there's any way back. But within Buckingham Palace, forgiveness is a rare currency, and memories are long. The royal family doesn't forget easily, and once the door closes, it rarely reopens. One staffer who's worked inside the palace for years put it bluntly: he apologizes when he needs something. That single remark rippled through royal circles because it cut straight to the core of how many insiders now see him. Not as a man seeking reconciliation, but as someone calculating survival. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Meghan's carefully built empire isn't expanding. It's shrinking. Her projects, once promoted as groundbreaking, are losing traction fast. Her influence is fading, quietly but clearly. What was once the Markle sparkle has started to dim as Hollywood moves on to its next headline stars. The red carpets are still there, but the invitations are fewer. The press coverage is softer, less excited, more cautious. Her recent podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, was supposed to be her big revival, a chance to prove that she could succeed outside the royal bubble. But insiders say the numbers were disappointing. The audience didn't grow. The reviews were lukewarm. Spotify, once eager to spotlight her voice, has quietly turned the page. Yet,
Prince Harry once held a fun family title when he was still on good terms with the royal family. But since his departure in 2020, another royal had to step in. Now, Hazza, before he left, was known as the Fun Uncle. That was the family title he had, sharing a close relationship with Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis.
Meghan proudly displayed her awards and accolades online, as if she'd just rewritten the rules of media. Inside royal circles, that's what they call the Meghan effect, turning something small into something monumental through sheer presentation. She doesn't always need real success as long as it looks successful. It's an art form, really. Curating perfection while the foundation trembles, but that illusion is harder to maintain now. Former collaborators whisper that behind the filters and professional lighting, Meghan's empire feels like it's built on image, not substance. Hours spent perfecting the tone of a photo, but barely minutes refining the message behind it. Even those close to her have started to distance themselves. They say her focus on optics over authenticity has slowly pushed away friends, allies, and longtime staff. The cracks are no longer rumors, they're visible. And that's where William's strategy hits hardest. He's not reacting emotionally. He's not giving fiery speeches or throwing public punches. His team has been quietly collecting receipts. Every deal that fizzled, every project that overpromised and underdelivered, every public contradiction that undermined their credibility. They're not building a case out of anger, they're building it out of evidence. To William's inner circle, Meghan isn't misunderstood. She's methodical. And for a monarchy built on dignity, restraint, and centuries of controlled image, her glossy Hollywood rebellion isn't just disruptive, it's disrespectful. For years, Meghan has mastered the art of shaping perception, but perception fades. And when it fades, the fall hits harder than anyone expects. Harry knows this all too well. There was a time when he seemed unstoppable. The soldier prince, the beloved rebel.
To try and sort of get himself back into the good books of us Brits, okay? Like, no.
The royal who connected with the public in a way his family never could. But now, that shine has worn off. The soldier prince has become the uncertain wanderer, caught between two worlds that no longer fit. And the fear creeping in is real. Without his titles, without the royal shield that once protected every move he made, Harry is vulnerable for the first time in his life. Even his security, once untouchable, has become uncertain. For a man raised under the world's most powerful safety net, That realization is terrifying. His friends say he's torn between protecting Meghan and protecting the legacy he abandoned. Torn between pride and regret. Torn between proving he was right to leave and quietly wondering if he made the biggest mistake of his life. Deep down, he knows the storm closing in isn't just bad luck or royal politics. It's partly of his own making. Every interview, every explosive claim, every public jab, all of it added up. And now the bill has come due. Imagine what happens next. No Duke and Duchess of Sussex. No royal titles for the children. Just Harry and Meghan Windsor. Two former royals trying to navigate a celebrity life that depends on the very titles they might lose. Without them, the brand crumbles. The access, the prestige, the million-dollar deals, all of it slips away. Those titles aren't just decorative words, they're armor. And without that armor, the empire begins to crack, fast. If William's plan goes through, the monarchy will become smaller, tighter, and stronger. A streamlined institution built for the modern age, where every name on the roster matters. No more family drama, no more divided loyalties, just order. But if Harry somehow finds a way back into that royal circle, it won't be through sympathy or spin. It'll take something he's rarely shown before: humility, true humility. The kind that doesn't come from a statement or an apology tour. The kind that comes from realizing that sometimes freedom isn't about running away, it's about coming back changed. Either way, one thing's certain. Even royalty can't escape the consequences of their own choices. For years, Harry thought he was rewriting the royal story. But now, it's William holding the pen. And he's not pausing to let his brother catch up. The moment Harry's plane touches down on British soil, everything could change. Every headline, every decision, every silence from the palace will point toward one truth. The future of the monarchy will move forward, with or without him. If you've made it this far, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll see you on the next one.